Alright. So let's get this thing going, right? So, babe, where are we going today? You don't know?
I don't know. Where do you want to go?
We're going from Bahamas to Miami. It's kind of like the one flight I always do, right?
Always.
Alright, so full tanks, all that good stuff. Nav light on. I'm gonna turn on beacon line already. Full throttle, full mixture, and fuel pump on until I have 5 gallons of fuel flow. That's it. I'm gonna give this a little bit of throttle. Beacon light is on, and here we go. Perfect. I'm gonna keep my RPMs at 1,000. Avionics on. Perfect, thank you, Shane. And Phil, I'm gonna be real with you, man. I am not a pro of this thing, so to me, this is kind of I use this to learn, but I tell everybody I'm not no pro at anything. So stick around. I will make mistakes together, and I learn every day. Every single time that I get on here, I learn something. So why not learn together, right? So what I was saying is I'm gonna keep my my throttle, my RPMs at 1,000, and I'm gonna set up my GPS. I'm gonna clear this out and start with my flight plan. Now we're flying today from the West End Airport, which is Mike Yankee Golf Whiskey, and we're going to go first to Valley. Let's get this thing wrong. There we go. You know, one day I'm gonna save this flight plan, so I don't have to do this every time. And then from Valley, we're gonna go to Miami. Jesus Christ. I'll tell you what. If I look at my flight plan, so I'm going from Mike Yankee Golf Whiskey. I don't know what did I put up here. Oh, that's why. Mike Yankee Golf Whiskey. That's why it's not showing up. There we go. That makes more sense. tell you what I'm gonna do is, instead of continue to mess with this thing, I'm just gonna, whenever I take off, I'm just gonna hit direct there. And I already submitted my flight plan with VATSIM and it's IFR, and I have center all the way to Miami. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that up, which is 125.70. And then because I'm gonna be on Unicom until I take off, I'm gonna have that active actually. And now, fellas, we're ready to go. And Phil, yes, I'm very, very, very excited about the setup. The FS 2020 coming out. I hope that from day one I can use my setup. If all of the programs like AirSim, SPAD, all of them decide to work. Actually, before I go, I'm gonna set the flight plan real quick here. No, that's not what I told you. Perfect. Okay. West End traffic, November 291 Quebec, taxiing to runway 12, West End traffic. Alright, I'm gonna give myself some flaps. I'll stop here and do the run up real quick before we go. We're gonna put the RPMs to 1700, and I hope you guys can still hear me. Test the magnetos. We should not drop more than 1,000. There we go. Back to both. And I'm looking at my RPMs right here. They're at 17. I'm gonna drop it out to the right one. Should not drop more than 1,000. 16. That's perfect. And I don't have anything else that I can test in here. Everything else, I would have to actually get on the cockpit, but nothing else in here. The next thing is I'm going to drop my RPMs to the lowest, see if my engine cuts off. And it doesn't cut off, so we're good to go. Back to 1,000 RPMs. And we'll go ahead and call it in and take off. West End traffic, November 291 Quebec, departing runway 12. West End traffic. Strobe and landing lights on. One thing I forgot to check was this right here. Actually, before we take off, let's fix this real quick. So we're facing 286, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. And I'm not using live weather, so I have my my altimeter set at 299.2. No traffic around the area. Of course, we see that terrain warning, so that's fine here. We're looking for about 55 and 60 knots. And away we go. I'm gonna go ahead and keep my runway heading here for a minute. I'm gonna put flaps up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and reach out to center. You guys see that little terrain message coming up on my GPS, and that's normal, and that's because West End is not in the database, so it thinks that we're taking off just out of a ground or something, not of a runway per se. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to center. So I'm making a right turn. Flaps up. Not to raise that long, I can barely hear them.
Squawk 4714.
And center number 291 Quebec out of West End Airport, looking to pick up I-4 to Miami.
Echo calling Quebec, standby. Delta 1313, your back is correct. Push started due to Cheshire, advise any taxi. Expect 114 for departure, 8 information, Delta is not there. Cap calling for clearance, state your location, and call sign.
P number 291 Quebec, departing at West End Airport.
And number 2891, Quebec, you're clear to Miami Dade Valley Waypoint. Climb maintain 6000, squawk 4731.
4731 on the box. There you go. So now we cleared to Miami. We have our squawk code, and we climb into 6,000 feet. I'm gonna set that up here in my autopilot.
Number Skyhawk 91 Kilo. Feedback is correct. Contact Miami Center on 135 on 175 on the door.
I don't think that was for us. Center, by any chance, was that for 901 Quebec?
Yes, sir. 91 Quebec. Contact Miami Center on 135 on 175.
Going to Miami Center on 135. Thank you, sir. Actually, let's do this real quick. There you go. So 135, 175.
Western 405, maintain 250 north. Roger, 250, so Western 405. Western 900, cross DK to maintain 11,000, the tap altimeter 3012. And DK 11,000, Western 900.
And center number 291 Quebec is with you, climbing out of 3,000 for 6,000.
Over 2891 Quebec, climb center, roger. 92688, turn right heading 150 to center, maintain 3,000. 50, 3,000. Miami Center, good evening, Miami clearance to DC. American 458, plotting 270. 270, American 458. Delta 2254, radar contact on maintain 12,000. 12,000 for Delta 22. Southwest 1909, Miami Center, at the clearance advice, ready to copy. Ready to copy. Southwest 1909, cleared to the Washington Road Airport via the Vaporway departure Canada transition that is filed, maintain 6,000, departure with B squawk 4736.
And Phil.
Right, cleared as filed, maintain 6,000, 4766, Southwest 1909.
And Phil, so I order the... Wait for some break.
And what was that Southwest 1909? I didn't catch it.
I'm gonna take a break from them. So Phil, what's it called? I pre-ordered the middle package. I didn't find a need to order the most expensive one, which I know there's some people find a value. I didn't, so I ordered the $89.99, and I'm excited to see it come. But I'm excited for it. And Eric, I use ForeFlight on the app, and ForeFlight is connected to X-Plane. And I'm gonna tell you, it's one of the coolest things that I have here. I tell anybody that ForeFlight and my real sim gear, it's just what makes this whole thing really nice for sure. But ForeFlight. I don't care about the 788. I care about the 737, which I had already bought it whenever PMDG had that option. That offer that if you bought it for, I think it was P3D, for P3D they will give it to you for free for this thing, so I'm excited about it as well. And of course, because of the setup, I like the Cessna 172, and one change that I'll be making soon, it's a lot of work going into the, VATSTAR website right now, and so I haven't had the chance to update this thing at all. I'm trying to get it. But one change that I'm going to be making to this whole thing, I'm going to restructure this whole setup. I'm going to get rid of this box, and I'm going to build it a little bit bigger. I'm going to start adding, I 3D printed these things, and that is to, so it looks a little bit nicer, the holes, and I have the whole package already coming for me, and I got a GTN 750 coming my way that GTN 750 is gonna be able to replace the audio panel, this GPS, and the comms. So I'm gonna go ahead and build it for a 182, a Cessna 182, and I'm also working. I'm in the talks with another company. As soon as we have, forgot about the airspeed there. Go ahead and take over autopilot. I'm not sure what happened. And I'm gonna push this thing down. I'm not sure if you guys caught it, but I was doing like 45 knots. So, let me switch that. I'm gonna stop my descent really quick to figure out what's going on with this airplane.
1545 with you, 8000, flying direct, Palm Beach. Like all 1345 air contact on maintain level 350.
I don't know if I'll be getting the Bravo stuff. It looks really nice, and I do fly with VR. So,
Miami, Southwest 1909, ready for taxi.
I will say I do fly with VR once in a while, and I am thinking about it for that setup for the PMDG. It is $250. I'm kind of holding back on that. The last thing I was going to say is I'm working with a company that's going to send me a throttle mixture system, and their stuff is really nice. If we go ahead and confirm the partnership, of course I will make sure that everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about, but it definitely is looking to be a nice setup if it all worked out. Start making this right turn because I'm going way out of course. And that's one thing sometimes I'm a little discouraged about the SciTech is sometimes the the autopilot just works kind of whack. So I've thought about just making my own. Let's try with heading now. And yes, we're gonna put it at 0. Don't want to climb. There we go. So that did pick up. Let's go ahead and do another 700 feet. Let's put back ATC. keep it at 500 so we can keep that constant speed. And actually, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the vertical climb in a second at 6,000. And you know, guys, being real with you guys, this is why I like this thing here. I'm not a professional pilot. I'm not even a student pilot. I have learned a lot through VATSTAR and watching a ton of videos and practice most of all, right? So I do this thing not to actually technically teach people, but more to show people how I fly, and hopefully, you know, you guys learn the hopefully you guys learn the basics, and it gets you from, you know, next time you do a flight, you can fly from West End to Miami. But I'm gonna start doing more of these videos, and I'm gonna start doing different things like traffic patterns and things like that. Show you guys how to use the systems a little bit better, and just the things that I know, not as what is really done out there in real life, but the things that I do that keep me flying. But yeah, to those who were not aware, it's a lot of changes coming to the VATSTAR website. But the first thing that is going to happen is Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, we will shut down all the training, all the registration, all of that is going to stop at 7 p.m. tomorrow. So, in like, I don't know, 28 hours, right? 28 hours. We're gonna stop training. We're gonna stop registration and all of that. We're gonna stop the website. We're gonna take down the website, and we're gonna start with the data transfer onto the new website that should be up and running on the 18th. Now I do plan on having the website public before the 18th, but no registration is going to be allowed. It's not going to allow you to register or log in. Now, if you're already a member of VATSTAR, you'll be able to log in. You don't have to register. You should be able to continue. But that would happen on the 18th. Now, there's talks about also letting people log in and register before the 18th. I'm going to go ahead and have to confirm if we can do that and start the training before the 18th. Doubt it, but we might be able to work something out where we start getting a head start. We just don't submit anything until the 18th, until the VATSIM is ready. And just to give you guys an insight of what's happening on the cockpit. So right now we're doing 6,000 feet. We now turn direct to Miami.
American 1321 to 7, maintain 3,000.
And I need to do a better job listening to them. So we're now flying direct to Miami. There shouldn't be any talks going between ATC and me just yet, because I'm still far. I'm 71 nautical miles away from them. So about 38 minutes left of flight time, and right now I'm doing about 110 knots, and my ground speed is 114.
Miami Center, American 458 going missed approach direct, Virginia Keys. American 458, roger, fly, heading 120, climb maintain 3,000, and over, you got the island pattern. 120 and climb maintain 3,000, American 458.
Now, one thing I'm not doing, like I said, is I'm not flying with real weather or live weather. But if I was, then I would have this feature on.
KW940, contact National Center 125.7, good day.
And you can see how easy and how easy it just gives me all the clouds or the rain and all of that. I'm gonna take that off because it just confuses me since I'm not flying with it.
1909 is with you through 2,000 for 6,000.
Now, Miami weather right now, winds are going.
Southwest 1909 2000, cleared right Canjo. Roger, climbing team 167, direct to Canjo, Southwest 929.
So winds are 120 at 9, visibility is 10. Broken clouds at 3,300, 7,000, and follow 250.
169, Miami Center, squawk 4753, identity.
Now I'm gonna go ahead and guesstimate that we're gonna be landing on runway 8 left, which is coming this way.
Flying 360, vector to file. 360, American 458, flying 270. 270, American 458. Western 405, turn left heading 180. Left 180, Western 900, turn left heading 270. 270, Western 900, descend and maintain 3000. 3000. Southwest 1909, Port America Space, Jacksonville Center off flying radar surface. Terminator brief to change proof getting. Miami Center, Giant 3712,
ATC is busy today.
Giant 3712, Miami Center, good afternoon, squawk 4635. Squawk 4635, Giant 37.
Thank you, David. And yeah, so the new curriculum will be available on the website.
Radar contact 26 miles north of the Big Dog intersection, flight level 360.
Hold on, I might just turn this off a second. But yeah, so the new curriculum is on the website already. It's actually in place.
1320.
We just got, well, the greatest news is that today we got final approval from VATSIM to continue certifying their members for their P1. The next step is the P2, the instrument rating, and I want to say we are projected to be ready by September. So not that far after we're done with the PPL, then we're going to the instrument rating. And David, this is the 172, Cessna 172. In the near future, once I'm done with the whole website and I can have a little bit more time for myself, I'm gonna be doing the 182. I'm gonna convert to a 182. What I said earlier with the GTN 750. And with that, I keep talking about the GTN 750. We did get it from Real Sim Gear. We actually did come up with a nice little partnership with them, and we will be giving out a GNS 430. So this GPS you have here, not mine. I'm not giving you mine. I'm giving you a brand new one. But we'll be giving out a GNS 430, and we're going to be doing this through a trivia game that we'll, of course, we'll play, I think, as every Thursday. So stay, make sure you guys get on the Discord, check your emails and all of that, social media on Facebook, on Twitter, because we will be giving out a GNS 430 for free. And I keep ignoring ATC. I keep switching it to Unicorn.
American 458 flying 310.
And I know I'm gonna miss something important.
310, 458.
Now let's see if ATIS is online. Yeah, 119 and 15. So I'm gonna put that on my COM 2. So I can keep listening to them. Oh, might be a little too far.
Miami International Airport,
Western 900 flying
Charlie
360.
1953 Zulu. West 120 at Niner. Visibility 10. Ceiling 3,300 broke. 7,000 broke. 25,000 broke. Temperature 33. 2.24. Altimeter 3011. Approaches are being conducted to parallel converging and INTX runways. Arrivals expect ILS runway 8 right, ILS runway 9er, ILS runway 12, localizer, EMB runway 8 left. Aircraft landing runway 9er or runway 12 can exit to hold short. NTFY approach if an app. Departing runways 8 left, 8 right, 9er, 12. Area navigation departure will be assigned heading. North of
Alpha
numerous cranes vicinity airport. Check current notice. Operate Trans-Westward C on taxiways and runways. Bird activity vicinity airport. Hazardous weather information for meal area available from ATC. All aircraft read Mankel hold short instructions and assigned altitude. CPDLCDCL service operational. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Charlie.
Alright, we have information, Charlie.
360, marking 458. Papa Victor, correction, Papa Yankee Alpha 80, clear to direct grid, descend and maintain 3000.
And see, that's one great thing I like about this setup. Because I have comms to here.
Direct 458, you're 5 miles from grid, sliding.
So I have my comms to here set up, and through this audio panel I can switch back and forward. I can have them both going, right?
TX runway. Arrivals expect ILS runway 8 right.
So I can switch back and forth. Which one I want active and which one I don't, right? That's one cool little thing about this setup that I'm gonna miss kind of going into the GTN 750, although it would just be touchscreen
Giant 3712
versus buttons.
Data maintain 13,000, the Miami altimeter 3011. Cross Toga maintain.
And some of you guys might ask, why did I just fill this out? I'm not using live weather, but I do want to go ahead and have this information for me should I be asked for it. I know that the winds were 1209, so 8 left. That's my expected since I'm going to the FB on the north side of the airport.
900 airport, 2 o'clock and 10 miles, report to field in sight. 900 clear visual, 1 right.
Now right now I'm looking at about 56 nautical mile away, 29 minutes
I'd like to pick up my IFR
to landing.
from Night in Tampa to Tamiami. Number 2452 Zulu, Miami Center clear to the Tamiami Airport via radar directors gives on his file, maintain 2000, departure this frequency is squawk 4747. Roger, cleared to the Tamiami Airport via Gibbs, then as file, climb maintain 2000. Squawk 4747, departure this frequency, 92. Number 2452 Zulu, reback correct your release for departure this time now 2015, Zulu clearance, void not off in 30 minutes. Your frequency change approved, good day. Frequency change approved, good day. Western 900, the wind, variable 5, runway 1 right, clear to land. Runway 1, right, American 458, wind 1, 2.
Alright, and one thing I want to go ahead and talk to you about, so you guys noticed that I went from uncontrolled airport to a controlled airspace, right? So because I'm in control, all I gotta be is on 122.8, right? And I just gotta call my moves, right? And it always starts with where you at, right? So the airport, who are you, your call sign, what you intend of doing, and then you always end it with the airport again, right? So Miami Airport, number 2 on Quebec, signature taxing to runway 8 left, Miami Airport, or Miami traffic. And that's how you do pretty much just anything that you, anytime you make a move, you go ahead and just report it on there. Now, if you were to be with control at a control airport, then you just go ahead and call the ground tower, approach center, whoever, and it's something similar, right? So you say Miami ground, number 2 on Quebec, at signature, looking at taxi,
Welcome to Miami, thanks to parking via Victor, Papa, Whiskey, November, good day.
and then looking at taxi, and they would just respond back to you with whatever information you need, and then you respond back kind of backwards, right? So you say runway 8 left, be what is it, kilo, number 2 on Quebec. You just end with your call sign.
Change group, good day.
Going to Unicom for Southwest 130, thanks for hours today.
And if you're wondering, I keep muting them by pressing the button. I keep switching to Unicom. I know you should be able to see it, but I keep switching every time I'm talking, so it's clear.
That's Center Victor 1321. Can we take a Sierra to Victor instead? Or Sierra to Papa?
Number 1321, that works. You're almost the only one on the ground, so go however you like.
But one advice that I would give anybody who's new to VATSIM, right, and this is something that has worked great for me, is stick to your call signs, right? I know a lot of VAs give you call signs, right? So like American might give you 5210 and Southwest gives you Southwest 1115 or something. What do you mean, what's happening, Alexander? But so they will give you all kinds of different call signs. But just stick to yours, right? So whenever I'm flying a general aviation, I don't care if I'm flying a TBM or a Cessna or something, I'm always November 2 and 901 Quebec. And when I'm flying any airline, American, Delta, Southwest, I'm always that call sign 416. I don't ever change, and the reason I do that is because those numbers are engraved in my head.
169 cross Millsy to maintain 1616,000 to 8 turn-offs tonight.
They engraved in my head, so whenever I hear it, it just automatically just turns on that switch to listen, right? So that is an advice that I give everybody: just stick to your call sign. And to me, that was just the easiest.
Yeah.
Made it easier.
That's 2016 flight level 370.
So the 2016 Miami Center. Miami Center is closing in a few minutes. You come on, you come on 122, but I get it.
Oh God.
22-8, good day.
That's one thing I wish Miami did a little bit better, is that they have more center. I'm barely ever seeing them online. But it will give us a chance to look what see what Unicom does whenever you're landing, right? Let's see.
So yeah, what's the matter? Yeah, can I just talk to Steve? What's the matter? Starting to party, probably good day.
So I just heard center saying that they're closing soon. But let's see if by any chance approach or towers online.
Papa Yankee Alpha 80, the wind 120 at 9, runway 9, clear to land.
And it's not.
Runway 9, clear to land, Papa Yankee Alpha 80.
Apparently,
Center FedEx 447, turning left downwind, direct marathon.
FedEx 447, Miami Center, Roger. You're cleared to the Fort Lauderdale Airport via present position, direct cursive. I maintain 11,000, squawk 4637.
4637 on squawk. MM Center, American 458, 9er at Tango 7.
Welcome to Miami Taxi Department via Yankee, November, Boston runway 12, good day.
what's going on, Alexander?
Yankee November, crossing 12, American 458.
I hear him trying to call me.
November 2891,
There we go.
Quebec, expect the visual approach runway 8 left, Miami altimeter 3011.
3011 and visual for 8 left, 901 Quebec. They didn't tell me to do anything, just tell me to expect runway 8 left,
Miami Center,
and just gave me the altimeter back, right? But we're not flying with the altimeter, we're just going to keep it at,
November 2452 Zulu, Miami Center, squawk 4747.
we're going to keep it at 299.2. But now I know for sure we're landing in 8 left, which is what I had picked already.
November 2452 Zulu, radar contact 7 miles southeast of Tampa, 2000, contain 11,000, Zulu navigation.
Roger, up to 11,000, resume on navigation, Roger.
How can you join VATFORCE? So we're not VATFORCE is not a VA, it's not a flying club or anything. I call VATFORCE this thing, the setup, right? So this is VATFORCE1, like Air Force One, VATFORCE1. And then I guess whenever we move it to the 182, it's going to be VATFORCE2. There's no way to join because there's nothing there's no VA, there's no line. I will say a couple of things. This setup is for VATSTAR members. I have said it from the beginning. This is for VATSTAR members. So whenever we do go to any kind of like live show, any kind of event or something, the idea is to be able to bring this thing out and let people play with it and practice and whatnot, right? So this is a setup for VATSTAR members to enjoy, but we do have to get to expos. We were hoping to go to the FS Expo, but if it doesn't happen on the East Coast, somewhere that I can just drive to.
That is 550, fly heading 160.
Somewhere that I can
160 United 55.
that I can drive to, then I won't be able to bring it because shipping will be just way too expensive. Yep, Alexander. VATFORCE1 is just the name of this thing. It's not a VA. We do not run a VA. But the aircraft itself,
Miami, hello, Southwest 1468, level 390.
which is a beautiful plane, if you see that.
Arrival for Fort Myers.
Southwest 1468.
Right.
You can remain on Unicom 122.8. I'm going to be closing in a few minutes.
Roger.
Sorry.
the paint itself, it can be downloaded off of the VATSTAR website. Yeah, right. We should start a VATFORCE VA. Sadly, we're not looking into that. The one thing that we pride ourselves in is that we only focus in pilot training. So if say that we'll go to some kind of flying club or VA or something, then it would change our category with VATSIM, and we don't want that. We want to just 100% focus on the pilot training. We let everybody else do that part. Yeah. And yeah, so I know it's expensive, but like I said, we really couldn't even do it if we wanted to. Well, no, we could do it. It's just gonna change the category in which we're in, and we don't want to do that. We're very proud of how we set up with VATSIM. And by the way, what's running the software running the RealSim Gear 430 is Reality XV. So the monitor is Air Manager. This is Reality XV, and the site text is managed by SPAD.net. And this button right here, this one button, I believe. Sorry, this button in the audio panel is run by SimVim.
Charlie Mike Golf 1545, I'm center closing better services terminated, previous change approved. Good.
Set for 447.
Attention, all aircraft on frequency, Miami Center now closed, ready to come 122.8, get in.
See you. Have a good one. I'm going to see you next time.
Alright, so we're now officially with Unicom. He is out. Now, so what I'm going to do is, since we're flying on Unicom, and technically we kind of sort of VFR, is that I'm going to set up the approach. So, does it have to be official? That's a good one. Never thought about that. Does it have to be official? You know, I never cared about people using. You know, we have our own call sign with, which is Victor Sierra X-ray, right? That's a VATSTAR call sign. So, I mean, technically, you can be running that call sign, but no, there won't be no website, there won't be no logging of flight or any of that. We did think about at one point of having a logging system where you can just log your flights, no rules, no nothing, you just log your flight. There's no flight plans, just log your flights. But it just got very complicated, and VATSIM, we reached out to VATSIM to make sure that was not going to change the category, and it was just kind of iffy. So we shied away from doing it. And again, continue to focus on what we do best, which is the pilot training. If you guys can see on the GNS at 4:30, there is traffic on my 2 o'clock. It's quite far, so shouldn't be a problem. There he is. And plus he's at 7,000 feet over me. Yeah, but why do smart cars, right? That's expensive. Like I feel like there's so many options that are free, right? I don't know why do smart cars, but what was it that I entirely too much liked because it was so easy to configure. It was called VA Financial. Let's see something. No, that's Alexander. That's water. That's water. Yeah, that's water. That's all I can tell you. Yeah, so this is website back in the days. Well, not back in the days, but they had an issue, and they had to close down, I think. Yeah. Oh yeah, they completely shut down by now. But VA Financial, they were a great company. Made it so easy to start your own VA. But they had an issue where they had to shut down. But I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and start the descent to 2,500. Slow the aircraft down. VATFORCE1, 2, and 3. Sounds like the presidential crew coming, yeah. What's going on, Kevin? Oh man, somebody turned my water into wine. Yeah, I like VATFORCE1. That's how you bribe me right there. I'm cool with VATFORCE1. But I need escort, so VATFORCE 2 and 3 sounds cool. And you know, something I'm excited about. That's something I'm excited about. FS 2020. It seems like it might be better at the whole. You know, having more people flying with you. Formation flying. It might be nicer to do formation flying. And by the way, if you guys talking about doing VATFORCE 1, 2, and 3, I need funding. This thing costs me quite a bit of money. It costs money. So we're not talking about a VA. I'm talking about you guys gonna have to set up your own panels or something. So if you're worried about $70, I'm looking about $2,000 to build your guys VATFORCE 2 and 3. Yeah, I know. I'm excited about multiplayer flying, but in VATSIM, right? What, you talking about 3D print an entire cockpit? I don't think so. Well, Phil, if you have about $40,000, you'll find it. Nuh-uh. This is not just a call sign. VATFORCE1 is a way of life. It's not a call sign.
Out of the traffic, South 240, clear the runway.
There you go. And that's that traffic that just called. You guys can see him on the screen climbing. You know, I had a guy. Let me see if I can find you a picture. Not sure if you guys can see it. Let me know if you guys can see my phone. Can any of you guys, can you guys see my screen fine, or it's not good? But let me see. Okay. Let's see if turning down the brightness helps. But so, like, I got in touch with this guy who was selling his 737 throttle system. Turn it up a little bit. He was selling his throttle system from a real airplane, and this is a older model 737. Not sure if it's a 300, 200, but he was selling the share and the throttle, and I was just so interested in it. I think he was selling it for like $3,000. And I really wanted it, but I wouldn't know where to start to set this whole thing up. It's just too confusing. Oh wow, $700. That's not bad at all, clearly. No, I was getting it, like I said, for about I don't know if it was $2,500 or $3,000. The share, he was gonna sell it to me for $600, and it was just not okay. And Laura's behind me, Alexander. Laura's behind me, just chilling back there. I'm not sure she's no, she's not sleeping. She's looking at me and laughing now. But see, the throttle system has not changed much between the generations, so I could do with a 300 or 200 and set it up for a 700. I think easy. I'm not no pro, but I think it can be set up. And I just changed my altitude. I'm gonna descend down to 1,500 feet. Eric says hi, Laura. She says hi, Eric. Yeah, I agree. Just a couple of switches, and that's about it. I'm gonna stop my descent rate to about 400. All right, that's it. It's 1,500. Ah, cool. I'm not sure how my audio sound. I just bought a headphone, a new headset, that I was hoping that it would be here for this flight, but it's not. And because I've heard people complain, but I got this thing, which is supposed to be noise canceling. So $40 on Amazon. So I'm kind of hoping that it's good. It's great, thank you, Phil. But regardless, I still wanted something a little bit more comfortable than what I have. Perfect. Alright, and you know what? We are getting close to the airport. I'm not sure if you guys can see the airport right about 12 o'clock. So like right in front of us. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. So what we're gonna do is, because we're almost VFR since there's nobody here, we're gonna enter the a left traffic pattern for runway 8 left, right? So, and we do that at a 45-degree angle, and that's something I do appreciate about the ForeFlight. It kind of paints the way for you. Now, I know I need a little bit more space to make those turns, but at least I can kind of have an idea where to go. Yeah, so soon, the next videos, or one of the next videos that I'm going to be doing is showing you guys how to use the GNS 430. Well, I'm sorry, the 430, 530, and the GTN 750. So I'm going to have a video just kind of showcasing how to use those things. And then once I have all of that done, that's how we're going to create trivia game to give the GNS 430 out. And then from there, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that I'll be making more videos on how to operate those things. I will do a better job at showing you guys how I built my next cockpit. You talking about, Alexander? You talking about the Reality XP? Is that what you're talking about? Gotcha. I think I have it, believe it or not. Yeah, GTN 750. Hopefully it doesn't crash anything. But I have it, it's great. I'm excited to get the program so I can set this up. But see the difference between the 430 and the 750, right? It's so different, so much nicer, right? But worth it. Reality XP is a very, very good program for sure. I think the only thing I need to get, yeah, I gotta get the 500s. I've never bought the 500s, so I gotta get that. And I gotta get it for Wednesday, because that's when I get the GNS 530 and the GTN 750. And I'm gonna go to make a real quick call, just saying that I'm entering left downwind for a left. Miami traffic number 2 on Quebec, entering midfield left downwind for runway 8 left. And that's for Miami traffic. Now you don't have to say midfield left downwind, right? Because technically that's the same thing. Entering midfield is left downwind. I'm not sure why I repeated myself, but mistakes we learn. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep my descent to 1,000. Just slow. So it's set up by HDMI cable, and then it's also set up by a USB cable. You do not need Reality XP at all. As a matter of fact, when I do the video on how to use the GNS 430 and all of those things, it's going to be with Reality XP, likely, but almost everything that I show you on here, and I'm going to be taking over another flight. But anything that I show you on here will translate easily to the default that the flight simulator comes in. The only thing that, of course, I do not think that there is a default GTN 750. So that's the only time that you would have to buy it, right? But no need to buy it for the 430 and the 530. I only did it because it makes it a little bit more realistic, and I have a traffic right in front of me and who's not talking, and I can see him on my screen. He's coming in. So yeah, you do not need the Reality XP. It just made it look a little bit nicer for me, but you do not need it whatsoever. You mean how many volts you're asking? How many volts, whatever? Is that what you're asking for? I have it on a USB splitter, and that splitter is connected to the power. I'm not that techie. I just connected it like that, and it works fine. And Miami traffic number 2 in unknown Quebec, turning base for runway 8 left. I'm gonna start my descent.
Miami traffic turn 3712 heavy 5 mile runway 9.
There we go. He's going to runway 9. You guys can see him right there. He's going to runway 9. I'm going to... Ooh, don't slow down too much, bro. So he's going to runway 9. I'm going to runway 8 left. And you see, I made my turn kind of early, and that was intentional because I want to be able to land quick. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a touch and go. And you guys can see that runway right there. So I'm descending. And this is going to be a funny landing. We should see that traffic in front of us in a minute too. Miami traffic number 2 in unknown Quebec, turning final 8 left. Touch and go. Now I cannot see the runway, so I'm going to start turning slowly. I think that's runway 12 right there. Yeah, that's 12. There's my runway. And that's fine. I'm going to use the whole runway. And on the next one, I'm going to make sure to give myself more space. But I have a ton of space to make this landing. I do not need to do any kind of crazy descent. And I mean, if I want to be safe, I can just say go around, but like I said, I'm on a little Cessna. I only need about 1,000 feet to stop it, in which I'm not. But there you go. Start the flare. Flaps up. And we're going back up. Keep my about a 700 climb rate. Alright, 600, 700 feet. And at 800 we'll start making that left turn. Alright, let's go ahead and do the crosswind.
Miami traffic in the 550 heavy, descending to 20,000 to flat level 19,600.
Slow down the descent and stop the descent. Target left turn to the downwind. That is correct. Victor Sierra X-ray, and that's VATSTAR. And odd enough, Flight Simulator just crashed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end it right here, guys, and just make sure you guys join us on Discord, right? So if you guys have any questions, you know, you guys can ask me on Discord. So join me there on Discord. I'll be working on the VATSTAR website. There's a lot of stuff to do. So I'll see you guys here. Next time I do a flight, it's gonna be traffic pattern. Might be a little bit later. Might be on another day, but I'll do that stuff later. See ya. Thank you, guys.